There is something big different about me today. I am not wearing my Omnipod on my arms. So for the first time since starting the pump 7 months ago, I have not been wearing my pump on my arms. Instead, I have been trialing out wearing my pump on my legs and my abdomen. It is on my abdomen right now, and I have captured footage for you guys so that way I could tell you the deep, dirty secrets and the truth about wearing your pod on different parts of your body. Now, when you get your pump training, they of course tell you to wear it on your arms as much as possible. That's at least what I was told. So I thought it would be a great video to come on here and talk to you guys about the pod placement on different parts of your body, how it worked out, how it went on, and all of that good stuff. If you are new, hello, my name's Olivia and I've been a type 1 diabetic for over 20 years. I have recently started on the Omnipod 5 just about 7 months ago in my initiative to make living with diabetes more enjoyable and more sustainable. So since then, I've been trying to keep you guys up to date on how my progress is going with this pump, because I feel like you get the most accurate information when it comes to the medical industry from the people who are living with the devices day to day, as I am. So as I said before, I typically would wear my pump on my arms since starting back in December. So to be honest, the reason I was getting tired of wearing it on my arms was because my arms were getting beat up. Every 3 days, you change the sucker out and you prick yourself. And while that's not as bad as giving yourself 5 or 6 shots a day, it does tend to take a beating on your arms, especially when I'm not a big person. So when I have a little surface area that I keep poking all the pump around, I started getting little dots and little blood marks. And my 2 kids kept pointing out all the boo-boos on my arm. And I said, you know what? My arms need some time to heal. So I went on Omnipod's website and I saw a runner have her pump on her leg. And I said, wow, that's probably a great idea. Let me give it a try. And on the plus side, they only last 3 days. So I just have to make it work for 3 days on that part of my body, and then I could try somewhere else. So I tried my legs, and I currently have it on my abdomen just to see how it worked out in comparison to my arms. So I did grab footage of what the pump looked like on my abdomen and on my legs, and I'll tell you at the end of the video what I preferred out of all 3 spots I have now done and where I will be wearing the pump going forward. So to start, let's talk about my arms. So as you heard, they tend to get bruised up. So if you're wearing the pump and you're a woman on your arms, keep in mind putting bras and your womanly parts on your body with the pump can be challenging. I wear tight sports bras a lot, I run, so getting those pieces of clothing on my body around the pump can be hard when you're wearing this device on your arm. So keep that in mind. But then again, of course, like this is a bulky pod. It's not huge, but it's not small enough to where you don't notice it. So wearing it on your body in comparison to the Dexcom, as you can see, it just sticks out more, takes up more surface area. When you're putting clothing on, this does get in the way. So if you're wearing bras or you're putting tighter clothing on, this probably will get in the way. So you have to be very aware of where it is at all times. So as the arms, also every 3 days for the past 7 months, like I said, kind of bruised up my arms a bit. So the first spot I tried was on my leg, and I will pop in a video of that experience, but I put it about right here on my leg, and I'll pop it in right now and then discuss with you after my experience and how I felt about that. So my pod is right here on my leg. I'll move my pant leg up, and that's what it looks like right there, all up close and personal. And the only thing with the pants is when you are putting your shorts down, if you're going to use the bathroom or take your shorts off, it can get stuck right here because, as you could imagine, it scares you that it's going to rip off. But as long as you're careful when putting your shorts on and off, or your pants or what have you, is not an issue. And to be honest, I like it because I feel like it's nice and out of the way and a little less noticeable than being on your arm. Being that it's summer, all of my shorts are long enough for the most part where I cover it up. So you cannot see this under my shorts. As you can see through my pants, you can't really tell that it's there. It's a slight little bump, but nothing to be insecure about or upset about. I really have enjoyed having this on my leg so far. It is out of the way. It does not bother me at all down here. And it communicates great with my Dexcom, even though my Dexcom is still currently on my arm. It's on the same side of my body, but so far, so good with it being on my leg. I am used to wearing it on my arm right next to my Dexcom. So I was a little concerned having, this down here while my pod is right up here, but I have no issues with it communicating with itself. But if I'm being honest, in comparison to this or my arm, I actually do think I prefer it being on my leg a little bit more, just because when my pump is on my arm, I struggle with taking like shirts on and off and taking bras on and off if you're a woman. But in this case, I feel like this is a little bit less out of the way. So a little bit more out of the way, I apologize. But regardless, I would definitely give it a try. I know I was very hesitant towards moving it because when I was trained on the pump, I was told that it is supposed to be worn on the arm, but the arm was getting a little bit old for me and I wanted to try something new. And I saw someone post a picture of wearing it on their leg and I really wanted to give it a try. So this is my first time wearing it on my leg. It is on its second of 3 days. So I'm almost at the end, and so far it hasn't popped off, haven't had any issues. I have showered with it on, I have changed my clothes multiple times, and I have not had an issue whatsoever. But it's very out of the way and very unnoticeable. Like when I go to the gym and it's not on my arm, I like that I can have it hidden a little bit better. Not that the Omnipod is something to be insecure about, but sometimes you just don't want that stuff showing. So I know if I ever have somewhere formal to go, if I ever want to wear a formal dress, wearing it on my leg will definitely be an option. And the next time I go about trying to move my pod, I'm actually going to try it on my abdomen and show you guys what it's like wearing it there. So that's my feedback on wearing this on my leg. So overall, I really enjoyed having the device on my leg. Now, I'm not sure if a lot of that was because it is summer here in New Jersey. It's hot. It's 80, 90, 100 degrees. So I'm wearing shorts. I don't know if the story would be different if I was wearing tight jeans or yoga pants or, pants. I don't know if the story would be different, but in the means of wearing shorts, it was very out of the way. When putting shorts on, putting them on and off, for the most part, I did not have a problem, but I was always very aware of where the pod was on my leg at all times, just like I had to be with your arm. But needless to say, like I said, it's a big pod in comparison to not having anything there. So you just want to always be aware of where this is on your body when you're putting on clothing. Now, I felt like it worked very well. It communicated with my Dexcom without any issues. I had it on the same side of my body, and I felt like it was very out of the way. And one thing I actually really enjoyed about having it on my leg was the fact that it was not noticeable. So typically I wear them on my arms, and you could always see it through my clothing for the most part. And if I was wearing short sleeves or a tank top, I would regularly get comments. People asking, why are you wearing that? Or, oh, how do you like it? Which I don't mind answering questions, but regardless, people were constantly noticing it on my arms. Where my legs, I did not get many people noticing it. It was underneath my shorts, very convenient. Now, people obviously still noticed my Dexcom, but they did not notice the pump, which I thought was really nice and convenient for on my legs. So I know going forward, if I were to go to a wedding or a party where I want this more hidden, I could totally wear a dress and put this on my leg and I would go unnoticed. In fact, I would also do the same thing with my Dexcom and throw it on my stomach. I would have no problems with it communicating, no problems with it falling off, and I liked that piece of it. So that was on my leg right there. And then from there, I moved it onto my abdomen. Now, if you are newer to Dexcom, Dexcom is a CGM, which reads your blood sugars. And back when I had the Dexcom G6, they recommended you kept this device on your stomach. And that's where I kept it. And back then I had a lot of issues with my device popping off. So getting stuck on things and so forth and so forth. So when Dexcom started telling you to put the new device, the G7, on your arms, I ran into a lot less issues with it being there. So going in, I kind of anticipated I was going to have some issues with this on my stomach just because this is bulkier than the G6 used to be. So I anticipated I was going to have some issues. Now, similarly to the other two areas in your body, you have to be very aware of where it is when you're putting clothes on and off your body. Now, I'll pop in the video of me wearing it on my stomach of what it looked like and my thoughts. Okay, so I put it on my abdomen 2 days ago. So now we are looking at my second day with my pump on my abdomen. And I had moved it from my leg to my abdomen right here. And to be honest, I will say it does feel a little bit bulky here, just underneath clothes. I feel like it's very visible. Maybe it's because it's summer, but I did prefer it on my leg or on my arm. My abdomen was definitely my least favorite spot. It does kind of get in the way a little bit and it feels bulky. And then when I bend down, it kind of does get in the way a bit. I'm not sure if it's the placement. Maybe if I had put it closer to my belly button or more on the side. But it is working. It did go on without a problem, and it has been causing no problems when communicating with my Dexcom. So I will say that much, that if I ever cannot for some reason wear it on my leg or my arm, I know I can put it on my abdomen and it will be fine. With the Dexcom G7, for those who would remember, we used to wear that on our abdomen, and I felt like that was a lot less bulky. But for this one, I do get nervous with it popping off, so I do have to be very aware of where I'm going and how I'm moving throughout the day. So if you do choose to wear it on your abdomen, just keep that in mind. So that was on my stomach, and if I'm being quite frank, that was my least favorite part of the body to wear it on. I felt like it was the most inconvenient spot to have it on. It felt funny when it's still there. It's still there. It expires tomorrow, but when you bend over, it's very there. You can feel it. Whereas when it was on your leg and on your arm, you could kind of go unnoticed. You could kind of forget about it a little bit that you're actually wearing it, but you never forget about it when it's on your abdomen, and I definitely did notice that. So being said, if I had to pick one area of where I'm going to try to wear my pump going forward, it's actually my legs. And maybe that's just for the summer while I'm wearing shorts and short skirts. I think that wearing it on my legs was fantastic. I had no issues with it reading my Dexcom meter, and I like that it gave my arms a little bit of a break. Now, being said, when fall and winter roll around, I might switch back to putting it on my arms again, just so that way I don't have to deal with putting jeans on and all of that. But overall, I really felt like wearing it on my legs was the most out of the way, forgotten, unnoticeable, and most simple way. Also, I have a lot more surface area in my legs than my arms to begin with, so I feel like I could put this on every 3 days on different parts of my legs without that area getting irritated. With your arms, it was very unnoticeable. It was very out of the way, but with this amount of surface area, you don't have that much area to just keep, poking them around. Your arms do get a little bit irritated after some time. So I hope this video was useful to some of you guys. If maybe your arms are getting irritated, or maybe you're looking for different parts of your body where to wear it and you don't want to waste the pod trying to move it yourself, I hope you found my video useful. Definitely try moving it around. There are pros and cons to each area, and depending where you are in your stage of life, other parts of your body might work better than others, so keep that in mind. If you're interested in seeing more diabetic content just like this, and more interested in my journey with Omnipod and Dexcom, please subscribe to my channel, stick around. Please give this video a big thumbs up, I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Have a great day, guys.